This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. The script has been flipped. 100 Thieves won big, Sentinels lost, and somehow, some way, once again, Plat Chat predictions are an absolute shambles.
Yeah, those guys are dumb as hell, Jimmy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 2 of VCT Americas. Coming at you live, as always, from the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. You got Golden Boy here alongside Doug. You got Wyatt and also G2 Shazam coming in hot with his second day of analytical work. How you enjoying it so far, man?
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I think I'm getting more comfortable. But
Okay.
yesterday was some good matches.
Going to put the analytical Andy hat on today and get to work. It's going to be awesome. Good news is we've got a lot of good games here lined up today. But before we do that, though, let's talk about what happened on this stage yesterday. Because I don't think anyone walked in thinking, oh, yeah, G2 Sentinels, they're going to get 2-0. Guys, it was not a normal day. So what I decided to do is an abnormal recap. That's right, baby. It's time for some wordplay. Look at that. Well, good timing on the graphic there. Makes me excited. Okay, guys, here we go. Okay, this is a really simple game. We've seen it before. We've seen it a bunch of times. Each person on the desk is going to cast a clip, and they're going to be using 3 specific words on screen. Good news is we have a ace play-by-play caster that is standing right next to me. And Douglas, you're up. You're the first one.
I've never done this before.
I know, I'm really
I always
excited.
see it happen, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. I feel like this would be fun to do, and I may be wrong.
Now you're on the hot seat. Your words are cannibalize, apparatus, and doll. Okay, those are your clips. Let's go ahead. This is going to be the round here. It is from 100 Thieves versus G2 on Vine. Go!
100 Thieves looking to put G2 away, and they're somehow going to have to figure out how they keep G2 back. Asuna satcheling forward. Actually, he didn't satchel at all. I'm not really sure what I was saying there. There was an apparatus that came out, and I didn't really see which one it was. Either way, I'm going to blame it on the screen. The orbital strike just melts everything. Jonah P's dead. How the heck am I going to get cannibalized?
He got cannibalized inside of that thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's what that word means. That's part of the problem.
And, Doug,
You look like a doll today.
Oh, thank you, Poppy. I appreciate it. You know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. What did the survey say on that one? Do we have
There's gotta be
a
like
confirm
that.
or a ding? You know, that's what I would say. Oh, well, survey spoke. What a shame. Okay, next up, Wyatt. You're next. Now, there's going to be a round from Leviathan versus Sentinels on Lotus. Here are your words. It's boot, rare, and what's up, brother?
Dude,
But you got to say it like Hogan. You got to say it like Hogan.
I'm so out of touch that I actually don't know what's going on with the "What's Up, Brother" meme, and I don't think it counts that I just said that during the round. So what do we have here? Lev, to steal your line, Doug, they're trying to put Sentinels away, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this one is going to be a rare 38-round OT game. Surely they win this 4v2, right? I mean, John Cutie and Zelsis, fantastic players. Oh my God, the string of shots here, just absolutely giving Lev the boot, saying, "What's up, brother?" Taking that thing to OT. Incredible scenes.
It's funny because the meme, look at that. The meme has flown over my head, but I saw that and immediately thought Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
so
same.
Again, problem.
I'm old. I don't understand what's going on the internet. I'm going to be honest.
And how do you think I feel? Good God. All right. Well, next up, we have a person who has never commentated a game of Valorant in his life, and we're going to put him to the task here. Shazam, it's your turn. You got Contain, Swipe, and Blobfish, and you're going to be casting over a round from Icebox. Somehow, Blobfish. Go.
Okay, looks like we've got a pretty close game. Sen's going to drop the KJ ult and try to execute onto the A site. Looks like Tex is pushed up mid and trying to contain them from going from B.
That's one.
Osspot's got his knives. He's going to try to swipe them out before the ult hits, but it looks like he's going to give it up. He's been detained. He's sitting there like a blobfish.
Yes!
Sen's going to take the site. The Gecko ult comes in, and Calm's getting there. He's going to take him out with 3. I called it ahead of. I don't know. I'll never cast in a match.
It's almost like I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, that was a ding. We'll take it. I love it. Awesome stuff. Guys, good job. Round of applause. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, be proud of you. Be proud of yourself. Except for Doug. All right, guys. Well, yesterday's matches shook up the standings 100%, and Omega is on the board now. That's right, suck it, Alpha Group. It's going to be all the Omega team today. We'll see what happens, though. This is going to be an interesting day because, of course, we got MIBR and we also have Furia that are about to take the stage. MIBR is going to make their Stage 1 debut, which is kind of silly to say out loud as we're midway into week 2. But, you know, hey, that's just where we are right now. This is the schedule as it stands. And Brazil yet to get a win here on the stage, Doug. It's kind of shocking considering that, you know, these teams and the talent that are on these rosters.
Yeah, you would think Loud would be the one to pull it off. We'll see if MIBR can pull it off today. I don't know that we'd be expecting a win from Furia. To be honest with you, I'm pretty low on my stocks with them. But yeah, I think MIBR have a really good opportunity here. They're a much better team than I think a lot of people realize or expect. I think they're criminally underrated. So there's a real good shot here that they take down Crew, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's going to be actually quite fascinating to see if Furia can maybe channel a little bit of that Leviathan energy, you know, in that game. You think that can happen, Shazam?
No, I don't think so. But you never know. You know, I think MIBR is probably going to be our best bet here for Brazil to get their first one.
Well, hey, you know what? It's going to be fascinating to see how all that plays out. But right now, though, we've got a special guest to talk about today's second matchup. It's going to be NRG's Ethos. Come on by, friends. Oh, look at that. The transition. I mean, we just nailed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was perfect.
So good. He's on the screen. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. How's everything?
Hey, what's up, GB? What's up, Doug? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
You know, another day in paradise, as always. Pleasure to have you here. What you been up to, man, since your days as the sixth man? What have you been up to?
I mean, same old, same old. You know, I'm just streaming this game, playing ranked. I gotta hold it down. You know, someone's got it, so that's me. You know?
I respect it, baby. I respect it. Do it up. Do it. All right. First question for you, man. NRG are coming off of a win there against Loud, and you know they're going to be going up against Furia today. How you feeling? You feel confident for the boys?
I mean, look, I'm just saying we played Furia last time, you know, and it wasn't too scary last time. So hopefully it'll be the same thing for us.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, they've looked really good. I think it'll be fun to watch that match. I want to get your thoughts on this. As someone who's a very successful streamer, which player do you think will eventually become a successful full-time streamer when they've realized they're washed and they can't play anymore? They're done.
So
the question is, who's more washed first? You know? Like, I'm just messing around. I'm messing around. But yeah, who do you think of the current 5 in NRG could actually step into the role of a successful streamer?
I mean, I think any of them could, but honestly, I have to say, Vic is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
He is.
Without trying to be, he's like a cartoon character. So I think I'd love to see him stream more. Okay,
I respect that. All right, I know you're going to start your stream in a little bit here, so we'll of course catch you then. But last question for you: toggle or hold on Sniper Scope? What do you got? What do you think?
Oh, dude, toggle, bro. If you hold, what are you, psychopath? That's crazy talk right there.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever met anyone who does use it.
I mean, you know, honestly, I don't, but I almost did because of my Halo days.
I thought you were going to be the one who goes, yeah, I use hold. We were going to have to drag you on the stream, and Ethos would make fun of you.
Yeah, and then it's just another day in paradise, you know, like I said before. All right, well, guys, you know, Ethos, thank you so much for your time, my friend. I'll kick all the butts on your stream. Have a good time, and we'll see you online, all right, man? And
thanks so much.
For now, though, we asked our players the same exact question in this new installment of Profiles. Check it out.
So for sniper rifles, I use toggle. I'm too old to use hold. That's my excuse.
When I first started playing Valorant, it was a hold, but my hand got cramped up a lot, so I kind of gave up on it. So now I'm just on toggle.
Pra mim, o melhor ali na Operator ou em qualquer sniper é o toggle, com certeza ali. Os 2 cliquezinhos pra mim ali não pode faltar.
In Overwatch, I used to use a hold just because you needed to unscope a lot in that game. So I tried hold a little bit, but toggle in this game just feels way better.
Eu não sou main Operator, então eu coloco hold.
I have it on toggle.
I'm not the best opper, so don't take my advice, but I'm a toggle.
I use toggle on the sniper rifle. Eu hold.
Pra mim, a sniper é só dar um clique no botão direito, que abre o scope e já fica assim, né? Ficar segurando eu acho muito ruim. Sei lá, não gosto.
Toggle for sure. If you're using hold, you probably saw something on TikTok, I don't know.
My team doesn't let me pick up the snipers too much, but definitely toggle. Not a hold guy. Wait, am I a hold guy? I don't pick it up enough. I feel like it's toggle, but I don't know.
Bueno, no juego casi nunca, pero es raro porque En mi cuenta como estándar lo tengo en Toggle. En mi cuenta de Riot, como en la que juego en Stage, lo tengo en Hold, así que soy raro porque no juego con Sniper.
I do Hold so I can dodge flashes. This is my technology, but you know, maybe we don't leak this one.
For Sniper Rifle, I toggle.
I think I use Toggle. I do? Yeah, I use Toggle for Sniper Rifles.
Eu uso o scope da Sniper, eu aperto só, não fico segurando. Se eu não me engano, você segurar é um pouco mais rápido, só que tem que ter muita coordenação. Eu não tenho essa coordenação toda. Prefiro só apertar uma vez ali, já fica o scope e é bem melhor pra mim.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into this matchup because we got a good one here. MIBR versus True. Now, we haven't seen MIBR at all since kickoff, even though we're like a week and some change into the darn thing already. So we are now going to finally get our opportunity to see this team. And look, I'll go as far as to say that this is one of those teams, Wyatt, that I think a lot of people are kind of underselling here. They have the stocks, I think, are quite high on this team, personally.
This is a team where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts to me. They really
bringing that one back.
Yes, it is the opposite of what we were talking about yesterday when we were totally wrong, and we're bringing it back. Last year, they were having trouble with the roster in terms of all being on the same page with the coaching staff, and that seems to have been totally rectified this year. I think they have a lot of really solid players, but it is in their coordination that they were able to get some nice wins at kickoff and surprise people.
Yeah. I mean, at kickoff, right, we were seeing an MIBR team that felt rejuvenated, especially after the season that they had last year.
Yeah, and the truth is, they only lost to Sentinels. Right? They played really well against everyone else. They took G2 the distance and, went through maps, but they walked away with the win. I think there's a lot of good stuff cooking up with this MIB roster. I personally love Artsine. I think dude's the truth. I think he plays with a lot of swagger and confidence that, it's such a sharp, difference when you look at very passive Jets versus some who are very aggressive, who don't just want to hold the lane but want to go make a play. That's what I feel like we get with Artsine. I'm really excited about this team.
No, definitely. I think that they should be proud of their kickoff run and going into this with the time they've had to prepare. I'm imagining they're feeling really confident about this matchup.
Yeah, as they should be, because I think that for MIBR, right, when you look at the numbers and how things played out for them, there's certainly a lot of positives to take away from that. One of them in particular was FRZ, who also, Doug, had a pretty decent performance at kickoff, right? Kind of showed, in that supporter role, being the anchor for this team when they needed it.
Yeah, I think he provided so much value, both in his individual playmaking, but then also in what he was doing to set up his teams, to hold down sites. And it's really hard, in my opinion, to really see value and high performance shine from a controller role or from a center role, maybe less on a center role, but he did it.
Yeah.
And he did it multiple times throughout kickoff. So again, I think this team has a lot of good things going for him. I think they have a lot of interesting pieces. And again, we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to bring it back to this. You've got Bazooka and you've got Fraud at the helm holding the reins on this. This team could be very good.
Yeah, attention.
Yeah, again, it's the cohesion that's a standout to me. When I'm looking at their roster, I feel like there is a nice positive to say about every single player because they all are filling their roles to a T.
Yeah.
And that is just, to me, again, it just goes back to the whole thing as a unit. And I do totally agree with you as well with Artsine coming in. That was a little bit extra boost of firepower that this team needed, that I think they were often lacking. And maybe I don't need to be concerned about it, but that kind of is the only thing that sticks out of my mind. When they're playing against some of these other top teams, are they going to keep up with the firepower in some scrappier late round situations? And they've proven that they can. It's kind of just about the consistency for me.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. I mean, look, I'm pumped to see, our Jailmeister back out here again. I know you just mentioned him, but there certainly is, I think, again, we kind of go back to the fact that there are a lot of positives to be able to pick apart from each and every one of these players. Jailmeister definitely standing out above the pack there.
Yeah, and I think what's fun for him is knowing that he is so heavily involved in the calling of what this team does. We've had so many conversations about fragging IGLs and the value that they're able to provide. RGL is another shining example of that. And Wyatt, I think you make a really good point around the consistency, right? Because I think if they can keep that up, this can be really good. That just feels like the one question that I do have, if there's any asterisk I have, so to speak.
There's so many teams that you look at and it's this guy's kind of been in bad form. We're looking for him to step up. I really just don't feel that way about anyone on this team. They're all doing their job.
Yeah. You couldn't ask for anything better, right, Shazam? I mean, you have guys who are all playing their roles to a T. It's exactly what Fraud and Bazooka would want in this situation, and they did it before.
Yeah, I think that makes it really easy for the coaching staff too. When you have people that are very solid on their roles, then they can really focus on, building off of that system they have and making more cheese plays and stuff because they can just rely on people to know what to do.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to worry about like, do we have the tools to be able to do this? When everyone's able to step into those roles, that's absolutely massive. And of course, we'll see though how that plays out for MIBR. But we do have RGL standing by with Geek Heavy to get his thoughts on the matchup.
All right, the players are here. RGL, right over here, sir. All right, so my question for you is, what did you think of first week's competition?
O que você achou da primeira semana de competição?
A primeira semana foi muito bacana, né? Eu acho que teve algumas zebras, digamos assim, tipo Cloud9 vencendo o Leviathan, esse tipo de coisa, mas foi muito interessante de assistir.
The first week was very interesting, very nice. We had some surprises like Leviathan beating, what was the team again? Cloud9 beating Leviathan, and I'm very excited for this week too.
Awesome. Well, GB, back to you.
They have a lot of good reasons to be excited for this week. But, so do their opponents. Because last week, Crew managed to do something that they had not been able to do in quite some time. And they picked up a win at the stage, here at stage 1. A massive, massive moment for this Crew lineup, Wyatt. And it feels like this team, you couldn't ask for any better of a result here. And on top of that, too, you got a squad that also, like MIBR, feels quite rejuvenated.
They come in with this roster change, and coming into this season, if we take it back to Kickoff, I was really excited to see Shy in this roster. I think one of the issues with this team, in contrast to what we were talking about with MIBR, is we're looking at guys like someone going to step up and get frag alongside Kesnet, because obviously they put tons of resources into that guy, but now you have Shy in the late round. What we saw last week was Heat is going to be that second guy in with Kesnet, and he has crazy mechanics. He's going to pop off with him.
Yeah, this lineup is awesome.
Yeah, I think Heat provides a little extra spark. That feels like that was the biggest issue. Well, there were a number of issues with Crew last year, but that felt like one of the biggest ones, like Kesnet plus who, right? And it does feel like Heat, who's more on like initiator roles, played KO a couple of times, has stepped into that role, and that's got to be so freeing, right? If you're Kesnet, you know that you're going to deliver every single time you're out, but you're kind of looking around going like, where's the help? Somebody, literally anybody. And I think Heat has done that really well. I think he's really young. He, again, plays with a lot of confidence and swagger, and I think that fits into this very nicely. And then you add the addition of Shy, and yeah, it makes sense that they finally got a win.
Yeah, I know there's like a meme of Kesnet 1v9 in every match, you know, previously. Kesnet's an incredible player, and I think the addition of Shy and Heat, both like fragging power, like you said, Wyatt, he needs help, and I think that this roster might be possible for that.
Yeah, no, they definitely leveled up from last year to this year. I mean, they did because they literally got a win, so that's already an improvement as it is.
Baby.
But see, here's the fascinating thing, right? Crew hit a milestone, and it's good success for everyone, right? We're all happy for them, right? And it's a good lesson for everyone. So what we figured is take a look at some of the other big firsts in history that took a while to get to the point. So we got Michael Jordan wins his first NBA championship. That took 7 years. Crew managed to get theirs in 411 days, their first win. So suck it, Jordan. Next up, Thomas Edison invents the light bulb. 2 years, Thomas Edison, you bum. How could it take you that long to do that? And now this next one, actually, it's pretty goated. Kurt Angle wins the WWE title for the first time. It's actually an Olympic hero, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever put on a pair of boots. I won't talk crap about Kurt Angle.
This one is in here for you two. Specifically. Like,
but
there was no fan service for Shaz and I in this. That was for you guys.
But take a look at who managed to cross Snake Way faster than Crew could pick up a win. Goku. All right, Goku crossed Snake Way, and he did that, and we confirmed that that is true. That is 100% true. I had asked, and our writer Mike was like, I looked it up. That is 100% true. I don't even know where that information will be located. That's what I'm curious there. So there you go. For notable firsts that have happened in history in comparison to Crew. Look at us.
I think the Jordan one is shocking.
Yeah.
And I think the big takeaway is, again, Crew clears Jordan, and
it's a bum here. Straight up. I'm a Knicks fan, though, so during that era, we sucked. We still do. In any case, so guys, let's go ahead and move on and talk about what Coach Adam had to say about the team's struggles in our post show. It's quite significant. Take a look.
All of them are really momentum guys.
Yeah.
And winning for us is like water in the desert. As we saw in the last chance qualifier, we were so strong because we were winning and winning and winning, and each win made us stronger and stronger and stronger.
I think that is something that Shazam, like bringing a pro player perspective here, right? Like there is something to be said about like learning and losing, learning and defeat, but the way that they did so, you kind of create like a band of brothers, if you will, to like get that win, right?
Yeah, you know, adversity brings people together, you know. I think you learn more from losing if you can sit down and know how to talk about it, know how to go over your mistakes. You learn more from one loss than you might learn, like, you know, 10 scrims. It's very valuable if you look at it the right way.
Yeah, but what about 10 losses in a row? Right? Like,
might be learning a lot.
How much character building is there left to do at that point? That feels like a lot, man. And I do think there's a lot to be said about being able to navigate through that. And ultimately, there were roster changes, so it's not like they were committed to the plan, they stuck with it, and they were able to emerge from that victorious. But I think there's a lot to be said about going through that the way that they did.
Yeah, and, you know, it's something that they certainly do not want to have happen again, and they won't this time around. They picked up that first win, and they could very well pick up a win here today. This matchup is going to be quite exciting. One major factor, that contributed to Crew's win was, of course, as we had talked about, the new additions to this team. One name in particular, Wyatt, Heat, coming into the lineup. We were excited to see what he could do because he's typically the duelist for his team. But this time around, he's playing a much more supportive role.
A supportive role where he's still able to really get in off the space Kesnet is making and pop off as well. Like, get crucial trades, push forward with Kesnet when he's on the Rays. He is an interesting player, though. At one point in time, years ago, he was like the promised one from Brazil when when they were going to international events and first keeping close games, winning some maps. He was going crazy. And since then, his career has just been really rocky. Last year, starting with MIBR, they looked hot out of nowhere. They beat NRG early on. It's like, what the hell? How are these guys? How are they good suddenly? Like, they were looking like the sure bottom team. And then things fizzled out, and the team went into disarray. So I think that's also kind of a narrative that we'll be looking at over the course of this season. If things, you know, fall apart, can Crew keep this consistency up?
Yeah.
I think they've also done a really good job of putting Heat on roles where he can have some individual agency, right? Like, yes, he's not on the duelist role. He's not getting, you know, these big clips. But on KO, there's a lot that you can do for yourself. You can flash for yourself. There's a lot, like, I think that kit for KO, for him in particular, still enables him to play in a very comfortable, very aggressive manner. And yeah, it helps when you've got Kesnet rolling out the red carpet in front of you and clearing space the way he does.
Yeah, no, I mean, anything you want to add there, Shazam?
Yeah, he looks like he hasn't really missed a beat. Like, someone that plays a lot of ranked, this guy's consistently been in all my games, filling his role that he's been playing with the team, and, you know, he's just been grinding a lot, and it's showing.
Yeah, that's actually a good perspective to have there, and it's good to see the amount of work that Heat is putting into this, because that, I think, speaks volumes, especially for this team and what they're going to need from this player. But let's go ahead and hear what Heat has to say, because he's got himself quite the interesting matchup today against his former teammates. Let's go ahead and send it back over to Geek Heavy.
All right, here we go. Heat. How are you? Nice to see you. I got to ask you, how does it feel going up against your old team?
Como você se sente enfrentando a MIBR?
Bom, me sinto muito animado. É sempre bom voltar a jogar no stage, ainda mais contra eles. Acho que vai ser uma partida bem incrível. Muito animado hoje.
I'm very happy. It's always good playing that stage, especially against my old team. I think it's going to be a very good game, and I'm very happy.
Well, there you have it. Turn the thermostats all the way up, because Crew's bringing the heat. Back to you, GB. Thank you.
Give you legend. I love that. Yes, indeed he is. That's something I would have said. So that's why I'm proud of him.
Kindred spirits.
That's right. We are of one soul. I appreciate that. Good job there, Geek Heavy. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch things up, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk about Kesnet. We've never talked about him before. But this time around, we're going to talk about Kesnet playing Reyna. Because there certainly was a lot of interesting things to kind of take away from this. And Doug, do you feel like this combination, especially for Kesnet, do you think it works?
I think it can work. Maybe. I don't know. That feels like a very weak answer, but the truth is I'm not fully convinced. I think Kesnet is very good in his own right. I think the Reyna can suit him nicely. I think there's a lot of value to be had in agents that can create space and dive for you, and you don't really get that same value out of Reyna. So, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Was that weak? Maybe? Did I answer the question?
I mean, it's a cop-out.
That was...
You failed. And that's why. You're a failure. Moving on.
Reyna on Icebox gave me those like 2021 vibes, you know.
Yeah.
And I recently had the experience like scrim with a team, and surprisingly, a lot of teams were actually running Reyna on Icebox. I don't know if they were
Did
experimenting.
that give you pause, or were you like?
I was just like, wait, what? Like, did I just take a time machine back? What's going on? But then the same teams, I didn't see them all try it in the matches, so maybe they're just experimenting. But it seems like teams are considering Reyna a viable pick on this map.
I feel like a lot of teams have an idea of the synergy between the Gecko and the Reyna, like how it can be annoying to deal with the Leers and the Dizzy at the same time.
Especially with how quick it comes
completely
out.
breaking your crosshair. But I think the KO just kind of clears the Reyna. Like in that game, I feel like they just got comp diffed. Like that's not the only reason, but I do think they got comp diffed. Like the no duelist Gecko KO, I think is just a really strong look on Icebox. And the Reyna just doesn't stack up to that.
Yeah, no, completely fair. I mean, we'll see, what they end up using, and in fact, where we end up going, because good news is our coaches are ready to go for maps, picks, and bans. So let's see what we're playing. Check it out.
Hi guys, welcome. As you know, teams were decided via coin flip. Crew will be Team A, and MIBR will be Team B. Crew, you will have first map ban.
We ban Bind.
Crew ban Bind. MIBR, you have a map ban.
We ban Lotus.
MIBR ban Lotus. And Crew, you have a map pick.
We pick Icebox.
Crew pick Icebox. And would you like attack or defense?
Defense.
MIBR pick defense. And what map would you like?
Sunset.
MIBR pick Sunset. And would you like attack or defense?
Defense.
Crew pick defense. And you have one map ban.
We ban Breeze.
Crew ban Breeze. And you have one map ban.
We ban Split.
MIBR ban Split. The side of map will be Descent, and Crew, you have side select.
We select Defense.
Crew select defense. All right, boys, best of luck today.
Thank you.
Okay, so Split is on the docket again. Will we get it? Are we going to get a little Reyna action out there? You think that's going to be the case? No?
I can't imagine they move away from it, right? I mean, we're going back to Icebox. It's their pick. I think we saw Kesnet look moderately comfortable on the Reyna. So, yeah, I would think they go back to it. I don't know why they would change it.
Yeah? Survey?
Yeah.
Panel? Thoughts?
I can't imagine they're going to change it either. I'm trying to think about what would they run instead.
Jet
is really the only option, right?
Yeah,
You just play
the
Jet.
verticality was killing them, though, I think.
I do
like,
think
a few times.
that's where I'm torn. Like, do I think they're going to run Reyna again? Yeah, probably. Do I want them to run Reyna again? No. I would just rather them run the Jet. I think that just makes a lot more sense, but I don't know.
They got
That's
a plan.
why they're on the stage and standing here.
Hey, we'll see. Because if there's one thing that this desk is definitely not known for, it's calling things and being completely wrong. So
We've never been wrong.
We've never been wrong. Ever. Come on, really? It's just ridiculous. All right, well, guys, we have 2 minutes, so we can go ahead and share our thoughts with the world, our predictions.
Okay.
You guys can participate at home as well, so don't be shy. We know you're not. What do you guys think? Wyatt? Oh, he's going
I'm
low.
getting my whiteboard.
Go get low. All right. Did you manage to write? Did you write it down?
Yeah.
Oh,
on the
look at
whiteboard.
you. Wow, you did that fast.
What do you mean? You don't think I can spell? No. What do you mean? What's the problem?
I don't know, man. Jury's out on that one.
No,
Who you got?
Me personally, I'm going with Crew.
Ooh.
Visa.
Does this align with Visa?
What? Isn't it a legal obligation?
No,
Shout out Visa.
It's on the wall behind you, but also
I thought it was a legal obligation. I don't know.
That you did Visa.
I mean, I don't know, just in case. I'm not trying to get fired.
So
I don't know what it is.
Shazam, what you got?
Crew, Visa.
Going with MIBR.
Ooh, all right.
Close game.
Dissension
Probably
on the
2-1,
desk.
but I still think MIBR is going to take it. They've had a lot of time to prepare for this first matchup, so.
Yeah, it's fair. It's completely fair.
Yeah, I
What
think
do
so
you do?
too. Again, I think MIBR looks really good. I think the coaching staff looks good. I think there's a lot of youth and a lot of excitement with the roster, and I think they're putting all the pieces together. And I think some of the maps lean their way.
Okay.
Right? I'm still not fully sold on the Reyna on Icebox, and I think there's a lot that can ultimately pan out in their favor.
Yeah, okay.
Why are you smirking at me?
I don't
What are you
trust you.
smirking at me
All right,
for?
I don't trust you. I see you doing some shenanigans over there. So I went with MIBR because I just feel like if I had went with Crew and MIBR had yet to play a game, and I picked Crew, that would just be mean. Because they haven't played a game yet. I want to see what they do. But also, I've been really confident on MIBR for quite a while now. So, yeah, what? Oh, come on, man.
You've been muted the whole time.
Have I been muted the whole time? That's amazing. And I hear myself in my ears, so that's even more impressive.
Agents of Chaos.
God.
I can't
know.
believe they let us up here.
You guys are ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, we got Crew Visa, we got MIBR, we got, what was it again?
MIBR. And then
Okay.
and then we got silence from you.
I'm
And then we got silence.
There's no believers.
No.
But that's fine.
Yeah,
I thought Crew looked sick last week.
Dude, I think
there was a lot to love, and I loved what there was to love.
There's a lot to love. There's so much to love. Hey, you know what? I agree with you, and I'm excited for this matchup because we got two great.
You picked MIBR.
No, I'm agree with you. I agree with you in that
there's a lot to love.
There's a lot to love. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this Sunday doubleheader started. We got a good one, folks. We got MIBR taking on Crew. We have NRG versus Furia, and as always, baby, VCT Americas. That's starting right now.
Como el último bastión del side, hace tiempo hace doble baja también.
Tá inspirado pra pegar mais um. O terceiro, Jotinha!
A Crew é um adversário muito forte que a gente não pode subestimar a hora nenhuma. E porém eles não mandaram tão bem nesse kickoff, né? A gente acompanhou ali os jogos deles e eu acredito que eles poderiam ter ido mais longe. Eu acredito que os pontos fortes da Crew são as suas miras, né? Eles possuem o Kesnit. Agora, recentemente, colocaram o Hit no time, que também é uma mira muito boa.
Junto con Hit, recomponen un poquito la ronda. Aparece Hit otra vez. 2 para 1, 2 para nada. Como castiga Hit en el aire.
Bom, vou encarar como uma partida como se fosse a Fúria, como se fosse qualquer outro time. Creio que vai ser um jogão e vou dar tudo de mim se isso foi o máximo e para ganhar a partida, é isso.
Riot Games Arena, estamos listos para arrancar este domingo de VCT Americas. Le damos la bienvenida a los de la Rosada. Ellos son Crew Visa.
Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up and then play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up, let me see you move. Oh yeah. Let's do this!
E do outro lado, eles vêm hypados pra estreia. MIBR!
Brasil original. Nós leva a vida dura, mas sempre no alto astral. Mas admito, sou brasileiro, trabalhador que vai à luta. Não desiste, merecedor dessas conquistas. Nascidos para o mundo, trago o Brasil no meu peito. Em busca das vitórias, responsa é com nós mesmos. Quando me perdi, encontrei comigo mesmo. E tirei forças, eu não sei da onde. Amigos eu ganhei, perdi, são coisas da vida. O que me dói é a minha família longe. Torcedores vaiam, outros me motivam. Vou persistir nessa longa estrada da vida. Vencer é obrigação, derrota é uma lição. Desistir pra nós não é mais opção.
You got Heat versus his former team, MIBR, taking the stage for the first time in the stage. Now to answer the question, who takes it home? Who takes home those coveted champion points that you need in order to qualify for Masters Shanghai? That is, let's not forget, that is always going to be looming over the head of these players. You don't have, Shazam, a lot of games to lock in your spot in Shanghai. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's not a lot of opportunities to get into tournaments, and that's like, I think, might be one of the biggest deals. Like, I know when I was playing on a team, you know, thinking about those points to lead into the biggest tournament of the year, that's just your priority. That's what you build up to the whole year. So they're definitely, it's not an oversight for them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Listen, I'm excited to see Heat in this game. It's a story, I think, for him and a bunch of other players really this year of I didn't even think I was going to be in partnership. Like, it wasn't looking like he was going to have a spot. We've never seen him on a non-Brazilian team before. Wasn't playing in Kickoff, and now has an opportunity on a different agent, new roster to prove himself really after, I think, a tumultuous couple years with high expectations that weren't met.
I've enjoyed this arc of, like, you know, good duelist players transitioning into more supportive roles, Doug, because I do feel like it's really brought out, I think, the best in a lot of teams, seeing these aimers take to different roles. And it's something that Fraud and Bazooka had popularized when they got guys like Tui's and Cowanzine on the roster. Take these aimers, turn them into great support players.
Yeah, and I think it also provides, you can add so much more value to what the team is trying to do, right? It's not just about you getting the kills and you setting yourself up, but you're also setting up your duelist to do the same thing, and you can still contribute in a lot of the same ways. So it makes a lot of sense for Heat to be on this role. I think it's paid off very nicely for Crew so far, but again, there's a lot to be excited about on the other side of the stage today. And I think we can talk about Heat, we can talk about Kesnet, and they're both insane in their own rights, or even better together, but that's a formidable foe on the other side.
Yeah, going off what you said, like, I feel like duelist players, you know, people think of like Peanut Brain, like all aim, you know, that's how it's considered. But honestly, like in my experience, some of the duelist players I played with are some of the smartest players, like I played with in general. Like them being able to flex is fully capable and within their reach. They just, you know, they're good at their mechanics. They want to take the engagements, and they could definitely fill in these other roles. It's just, you know, what's optimal for them.
Yeah. And what has become optimal for Heat is to really become that role player for this team, Wyatt. But as you had mentioned before, I mean, he's still doing, you know, Heat things, right? He's still taking space, still trying to get aggressive. That is going to be a big part of Crew's winning strategy here against MIBR.
For sure. And we're about to see with the agent select here. I did think I saw a bit of a spoiler, which is that we are going to get the Reyna again. And yeah,
there it is.
There it is on the Kesnet PC flyby. So listen, we'll see what they have to offer with it this time. I wasn't blown away by it, but I saw what they were going for. Perhaps it'll just work better the second time around. You know, not a lot of opportunities to make everything work in every single map.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Maybe this week it'll go a bit better.
Hey, it's true. What'd they lose? 13-11? Something like
13-11.
that. It was close, and Kesnet, I think, went like 24-17 or 16 or something like that. So
Furia popped off a little bit in that game, and like to bring it home for sure.
Yeah. And it's not like he played poorly. So again, do I love the pick? No. Would I rather see him on Jet or something like that in this role? Yes. You already have flashes with Gecko. You have flashes with KO as well. I mean, I guess I understand the additional pressure of having the Lear as the third, but I think there's good reason for them to stick with it. It's not like it was a disaster the first time we saw this comp run.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying that there is not a lot of time left for you to try and like work this out, Shazam. So you kind of got to stick to your guns at this point here. But what should people be looking out for with the differences in how MIBR are going to approach, like, let's say, their attack versus how Crew would be approaching it with the change of having Jet and Reyna, you know, respectively?
Yeah, I think MIBR, it's going to be a lot more set up and disciplined as a group going in and coming to a site. With Crew, they're setting up the Reyna to get aggressive, to get those early kills. And I'm a really big fan of the Gecko on the map.
Yeah.
I think Gecko gets a ton of value every time I watch a team run him on Icebox. You know, planting the spike.
Yeah.
Planting the spike on this map is not a fun thing, you know, as Shroud knows. So Wingman comes up huge.
Yeah, Wingman's going to be playing a big role into this one. All right, folks, it's time to throw it over to your casters. And even though all of their hip Zoomer talk confuses and scares me, thankfully we got them on the call. It's Mimi and Ender.
You don't have to be afraid. I don't even have TikTok installed on my phone.
I feel like we don't actually do that much.
I'm not relatable.
Yeah.
Let's get into this game, though. We got MIBR versus Crew. MIBR making their debut here in Stage 1. The same roster that we saw in Kickoff that was so much improved from the 23 season.
Yeah, of course, they ended up falling out on that super, you know, tiebreaker day against the likes of Sentinels. G2 couldn't quite make it over the finish line, but this is their first chance to play against the Crew. They're coming off of their first win in what maybe in Kickoff you wouldn't have said would be the most exciting matchup, but I think this is a very good litmus test for the strength of these two teams.
I think it's a big comparison to last year that it's MIBR Crew. And I'm excited. It's going to be a good game, right? Like, these are two of our bottom teams last year, but I think both of them have had a big step up. The question is who can take it home today? Icebox where we start. Crew's headed towards A.
That they are. Actually, 5 players already committed, and it's Mazine playing a little aggressive here on the Viper up on pipes. No real control anywhere else on the map. There's very forward harbor wall of the likes to threaten some space in mid from MIBR, but Crew are not wasting any time on their hit.
Oh, and Kesnet gets things started early. JZZ is down, already damage on these players' backside, but they're going to try and fight only 2, and he destroys him. Against his former team, he starts things off swinging.
Not a bad way to kick things off. 3 kills just right out of the gate. RGL doing his best to fish for a little something over on Raptor, but all of a sudden it all comes down to Artazine. Saw the rotates, and yeah, Crew are bringing him the business. A flawless round. There's obviously been a lot of talk about the role pivot, or I guess the agent pivot for Kesnet was playing the Jet back in Kickoff, now on the
I love that you're saying the role pivot. He's playing Reyna.
From fighting agent to fighting agent. Go do more fighting. And you know what? It worked for him. I think this Reyna pick, while you are going to be losing some of the value of a Jet, especially the ability to updraft on defense and hold those lines with an operator, you do have the ability to really accelerate within rounds, especially these early rounds, where overheating into 150 HP is going to be very meaningful.
Everyone wants to hate the Reyna so bad.
They do.
You could just not.
You hate the Reyna until you get owned by the Reyna, and then you hate it even more.
That's fair. You usually lose out on things, though. The lack of verticality, I think, is the biggest thing to point out. We saw that when Crew in their last Icebox showing lost 13-11. Could have really been a 2-0 in that game against Furia. But I think their defense really suffered in the way they were struggling to get control fighting A main.
They do have a ton of different ways to sort of flash combo your way into a site. Maybe too many. They're really over-indexing into it with the Leers, the Gecko flash, the Dizzy, the KO as well. But right now it's an open B site that they're using those flashes to keep scaling for full snowman control in the post.
I think what is interesting is we've seen a lot of teams start to go for these heavy flash combo comps, the KO Gecko here on Icebox. And I feel like it plays really well into the older Harbor Viper comp. We've seen pretty consistently pretty much every team except Loud, who plays Harbor Viper. Obviously, it's like their comp. Everyone else is really struggling to get wins against these double flash comps when they're playing with the Harbor Viper, just because those combos are so powerful to fight through the smokes.
One enemy remaining.
Speaking of
Back-to-back flawless, yeah, why not? Holy. Mazine can do his best just to die to Spike here, not allow any ult orbs to be farmed up to. Things to keep in mind. The Rain ult, not so big, but Klaus already being 4 out of 7 on that Gecko. Potentially for a round 4, a big round in the context of this game. To be able to use that to convert over into it would be lovely. And when you look at the buy that Crew went for, 2 rifles, 2 Guardians, Melzer's going to be able to buy another rifle here as well. It's not a bonus for Crew. They are full fighting into this next one.
I think the guy to watch when you're watching a Crew game, Kesnet is the obvious answer because he's ridiculous. He has the most unique playstyle of anyone in Americas, right? He's the only guy who's lurking every game and exclusively playing duelist. But because of that, he's the guy who's basically the primary entry player for this team. It was the same when MTA was actively playing with the squad, where that KO has a lot of pressure. But here comes an early fight here. MIBR getting proactive.
3 players already pushed up, but the Dizzy comes out, the knife as well. Heat is now aware of this stack of 3 players over into A main space. And I think the instant queue, if you look at the map already, you've got a Viper headed over towards that B main. We'll see if Melzer actually wants to step into that space or just contain, because his team, after forcing away those 3 players on pipes, is still looking to fish out and take space up to 410.
That lurk going to be activated into B main now. A lot of space being taken here for Crew.
And just the 1 player to watch him out. Viper on Viper towards the B site. Wall comes up, and that allows now the scale to come in towards yellow. You'll notice over towards A, all 4 players have just completely frozen. They're not really looking for any early fights. I think Kesnet is taking maybe a 4th line, but Melzer's looking for his opportunity.
Timing here.
Now here come the rotates. Crew played so many rounds like this. So often it's Kesnet in a spot like this, but as soon as they have a player that makes it up to the front of that Viper wall, now the rotates come in. They all rotate, swinging back through spawn. They're going to send 1 player late into mid, but you have to keep your eyes out because Melzer has taken so much space back towards spawn.
Do you ever expect someone to be on this deep of a line? 3 players from MIBR stomping their way towards him. How much can he get? Both players swing. Neither are looking, but Melzer, he misses the mark.
It's a disaster. The Guardian betraying him a little bit. Now eyes for Crew shift over to Shy, who's crept up into Tube.
This reflank is everything in this round. The question, can Crew buy enough time for this reflank to win the round? Cloud still has a flash, but Artisan has gotten the opening kill. Heat through the smoke, great opener, but FRC is holding on to this one, and he's not stopping the defuse.
That round just evaporated. So strange. Just 5 players left alive, 3 and 2 in a defuse round, but the wall was too problematic. He wasn't able to play off his flash to get more than just the 1 kill. And really, it all falls apart because back here, right, Melzer misses the shot. If he has a Vandal, he can probably recover a little bit easier out of that. But they planted for that deep snowman control. So your re-wrap into mid doesn't actually have an angle in. That's why Crew had to give up the round, because their second lurk had no chance to actually influence the fight.
MIBR again starting the same way as last round with a bit of an aggro face towards A main, just recovering the orb here for JZZ.
Yeah, usually these Gecko comps like to fight a ton into B main like we're seeing this time around, so MIBR's read is to just fight on the other side of the map and threaten very forward space.
And the reason for that is how easy it is to throw that Dizzy, bounce it off the wall, pick it up, you have it back in 10 seconds, and you have another cycle ready to take space deeper into the map.
Yeah, here it comes in. Dizzy now clears all of back yellow. They've got the molly there too and can scale up, and they can either use the thrash that Klaus has, again in round 4, to aid the hit, or just as they go for this spike plant, use that to make sure no one can push and try to kill the planter.
As Shazam was saying, as Shroud knows. Crazy line, by the way. The struggle of this map is actually planting once you have the space. And this comp, you have to fight so deep if you want to be able to do so.
Look, Klaus has his own little pocket Shroud that he can send out to land the plant.
You do have to provide protection for that wingman, but this fight is good. Off that fish into the backlines, he is not clearing this corner. It's sloppy, and he loses his life because of it. Kesnet, now trying to be the hero of this round, has to do a little bit more. Their cycle has dropped on the wall, so all players retreat back into main.
There's no harbor wall to keep scaling forward here for MIBR. They're gonna have to take these fights unlike last round. Early drone clears out all of sight. They should know it's full into main. Klaus takes a great fight into backside. Kesnet gets another, and he's still going. JZZ though, pressing forward towards yellow. Clock is starting to dwindle. They go for the tap to bait the players into the fight. And now onto the stick. Coming around the corner is Klaus. JZZ cannot shut it down. Crew get their third.
Lovely stuff by Crew. I think the critical moment of that round was that basically third refight from Kesnet, killing the player towards Snowman, knocking that harbor offline. If this comp doesn't have those smokes online, it has basically no tools to win a retake.
Yeah, and that's a round where, honestly, it looked like it was a disaster. The Thrash wasn't able to be recovered. They didn't clear out into Snowman, but just good post-plant positions because there's no harbor wall. Completely different to the last round. They can actually take those long-range fights, and that's where a guy like Kesnet is going to thrive.
MIBR this time, fighting for some B main control. Artisan, already deep on this line.
Yeah, and Crew's gonna know that something fishy is at play. First of all, there's the orb take, and they can press tab, know that one over to MIBR. But also, there's no early A main fight. 4 rounds Crew have seen.
Bachaj just doing his best Curry impression. Biding his time to deal with this flank.
Really have to worry about is, oh, is there an actual stack over towards this A side? Stall utility to keep them stuck behind this wall. MIBR can look to
good knife there for Heat.
Fight on the flank about to come in. Dodged away, but we're still on site.
And this fight is massive. With that ultimate does get traded out. Now a 2v1 and JZZ dealt with.
MIBR rushing the fights into back. Honestly, if they've been able to take care of Melzer on site, Shy was way too far away. He'd taken the 1v1 against Artisan that had pushed all the way through B main. That's actually why MIBR was able to look for that heavy stack into this A site.
One enemy remains.
And I think the norm that we've seen now a few times is Crew have looked to continue flashes, you might as well fight into backside A. Look to keep fighting into Snowman too.
And that's the exact solution against Harbor Viper. Harbor Viper thrives when it can push you off site, use those smokes to get someone on the spike while everyone else is pushing you deeper and deeper away. If you maintain your space on the site, they only have the Sova as an initiator to actually get back in. There's no flashes, there's no dizzy combo, none of those tools to win that fight.
So MIBR, they slam the timeout button, they chat it up. What is going to be the pivot for them? Well, first option is they can just take more forward space like they did in B main, play a very strong side of the map, heavy retake side on the other, and then use that B main push to get multiple players fighting through on the flank. Obviously, they didn't have really money at that time, so Artisan loses 1v1, but if they bring 2-3 players on that flank, they can try to, flip the map upside down. As you know, Crew is going to fight in towards your spawn, you just take the enemy spawn, noticing that that is going to be a potential gap. The other option is fight down to the death on site. Don't allow them past your Viper wall, because like we've seen, the retakes can be a little bit hard if Crew have a lot of players alive in them.
Right there. So the question now, what did that world-class coaching duo of Fraud and Bazooka cook up in the timeout? How are MIBR going to adapt to start? Back towards this B main fight.
Yeah, playing up here once again. They've been doing this horizontal wall from RGL. The Crew are fighting directly into Artisan, gets the kill, dashes away, and a Hunter's Fury from downtown. Not going to connect on much, but they got that opening kill, and that's all they need to dominate the space.
Interesting idea there, just trying to use that Hunter's Fury off contact, doesn't catch anyone, but still, man advantage gained. Now a pivot back towards this A site. FRC, great shots there, and he'll retreat.
MIBR, the ideal was to stop playing so passively, especially on this A site. Take some forward lines. Rather, you take a 50-50 fight than lose it. Shot's not quite connecting there, and it looks like Crew will have a plant, but this is a very different situation. The previous post plants, they've had 5 players alive on this site. Now they've got 2 and a straggler back in their spawn.
MIBR this time not giving any fights away to these Crew players, vying for an advantage.
It's all going to be on Heat. Looking for timing, looking for an angle from top site.
2 flashes of Molly, but he's hard-pressed to use it. Harbor ult committed. That Reckoning is going to force these players to be fast on their feet, moving back and forth to evade. Klaus has the ult late, but they have to buy time to even risk the investment there. Timer ticking, fight forward, MIBR wins it first. FRZ! He gets them all.
Dude just dominated the A site. From the early fight he took on the Pipes player to then on the retake. That's a good flood from MIBR. Now, that time they had a lot of tools at their disposal, right? They were up in numbers. They had the Harbor ulti as well, which really changed a lot of those early lines.
And they had to use 2 ults to win that one. It was a trap play with the Hunter's Fury, then the Reckoning to retake, even with man advantage.
And this is where MIBR are going to be challenged, because it's not going to be that easy in the future. They're going to have to keep looking for these forward lines, changing up how they play on this A site. Crew have done a lot of prodding into that A main space, so whenever they recognize, oh, this time there's no early Harbor wall, or this time we see a Killjoy, they're going to know what the setup is going to be. It's very important that MIBR stay flexible.
Guns back for Crew. Klaus still has his ultimate online. Might just look to go fast into the A site here as Kessin is ready to scale.
So far, Crew have just seen the Sova.
He's so deep.
He's still looking for the fight.
Absolutely. That's Kessin. Down trades are excellent out of Crew, though. And now Artisan in trouble, has to retreat off of this one. Dash already invested. Suddenly it's a 3v4, and it's a retake for MIBR.
Artisan's going to need to fish for something. Thrash goes into backside. Should be able to move that into a position where they can recover it for the post plant as well, and they do, wrapping it all the way around 410. Dropping down.
All ready for it is Crew. These boys are so proactive in their post plants. Don't give you an inch to breathe. FRZ already alone, already tagged by 2 pieces of utility. He's got no chance.
You want more? Here's more.
I don't think he wants more.
Unlikely.
He's saving, as a matter of fact. Ouch.
Another round that's just coming down to these A fights. MIBR's trying to be more proactive, get that early advantage, but Crew is just owning them in these team battles.
And it's clear everything MIBR is doing is sort of fighting on off angles and then trying to re-swing into lines.
Sure.
You saw it from JZZ being right around the corner near 410. You saw it swinging out Rafters from Artisan as well. And in theory, that's a good idea. You sort of can catch, as you hear the Leer sound coming out, if you're on one of those off angles, you can swing in right here. You're never going to get caught by a Leer because you're going to fight into the angle and not be seen. It's a good pivot, but didn't work this time.
Bien, 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 bien.
Bien.
Yeah, agreed. 5-2 scoreline also agrees. Now, one area we haven't seen Crew or even MIBR do anything is mid. This is the first time I'm actually seeing MIBR look for a setup. They're going for a quick knives play, updraft into spawn, can't quite find it. And that's down to 2 knives, which is not what you want without the rifle purchase.
FRZ spotted, he'll retreat as well, so the early play doesn't net much for MIBR, or that forward alarm bot position, which has already been broken.
Right now, MIBR playing a pretty much full retake setup over towards A. Again, over near pipes, you've got Mazine that is playing for a forward line, but apart from that, they've got double Killjoy Molly setup. They've got the wall, they've got the Killjoy ult to assist in that retake.
But again, these rounds are hinging on the site players, not giving away their life if they're going to take a forward fight. They live 5v5, it's going to be a straight-up retake with that Killjoy ult.
Yeah, Mazine wanted to fight off that, but he can't because the KO ult coming in can't throw up his wall, so has to fall away. And now in the post-plant, Melzer has access to the pit. That pit going to extend all the way over to the spike.
He'll be able to find himself a little corner, keep this ult online. That means the mollies are so potent.
Kesnet is going through tube right now for the late wrap.
That's going to be important late, but they've actually positioned this Killjoy ult deep on the site. Now every player from Crew is pushed so far back, so this round starts to hinge on Kesnet.
Artisan picks up, gets a kill. The turret did not see the Reyna going through spawn, but Melzer still fighting forward. FRZ shuts it down, and as Klaus gets a kill, more time is stalled.
Here comes that flank from Kesnet. He's down. Halfway from Mazin, he's sticking onto this one. Shy will try and spam, but he doesn't have enough bullets. MIBR win a retake.
What a strange way of playing that retake too. MIBR did not do your typical Killjoy ultimate back in screens. They actually sprinted onto the site, and it was a great read because Crew, what they wanted to do was, play time. They thought they had 10 extra seconds from that Killjoy to go for that late wrap, but they put a very forward pit that forced these players from Crew way deeper than they were expecting. That really exploded the post plant for Crew.
Alp now invested for Artisan. He'll play solo towards B. And this Harbor a little further back.
And it's actually with a double lurk setup. You've got 2 players from Crew creeping up into B main right now. No flashes or anything to force Artisan off the angle, and he's come out wide off the wall. Now that Viper wall does allow Melzer to scale over into the corner. So it's not a perfect hold now for Artisan.
And there is a gap here. If Melzer walks all the way up, he can get ahead of Artisan, but that updraft, great to spot him. On the other side, one of these teammates dropping for MIBR, and that'll be the call to pivot back to A.
I think FRZ was trying to play boosted all the way up on top of screens there. Another off angle, this time Crew absolutely expecting it. Still taking their time. A lot of times there's been a player taking a forward line, but a lot of force behind it. So Crew have not rushed on their hit, waiting instead to combo this utility into the site.
These hits are so tough to deal with. Knife pushes everyone off, the util invests them in, and again, Crew has space in backside. Kesnet, sacrificial lamb, he just wants to fight, but that's a big one for Artisan. Question is, do they expect Kesnet this deep?
Mazine also on the flank. He'll be the late round insurance policy.
Kesnet on the close angle. Dart reveals him. Artisan operator connects for his own shot. Now Melzer, the next piece of this puzzle. He'll swing at just the right time with the dash. Means that Artisan evades him, and he'll swing back in for another. Trades go back and forth, and MIBR again come out on top.
Artisan finds the op, uses that for a couple of great kills, just peeking back into sight. Switches over the rifle to finish off the job. And Mazine helped too. He was gonna be there, even if his teammate dropped late on the wrap of the flank. But that's another layer now that Crew have to deal with now that the op has entered the picture. And those forward angles, there's not a lot of place to hide out. They started getting pressured by utility, swinging into the operator. That's a lot of good pressure from MIBR to force those players out into the open.
Yeah, new to this MIBR roster this season, Artisan had some moments in Kickoff, but if he can find himself a consistent star for this roster, remember, he's the guy replacing Heat into this team. And we know what Heat could do as at least an individual.
And this position, top yellow, is so devastating. The Gecko not doing a good job at clearing that, but I believe
that's a certified Kesnet moment.
I mean, he's just jumping around to get the peak, jumping through his own wall, and look how fast he scales up. Grabs the op, comes back to yellow, freeze. Crew never wants to rush, especially with their B main hits. So often they will just leave a player back yellow and then rotate back into the A site.
And that's one of the things that makes this team so different from the one that went 0-10, the discipline.
At the same time, space was taken up into mid, so they know MIBR know Crew are execing into this one. Kesnet finds another.
He's running at them with an operator, and he's winning every damn duel. Lockdown committed. Can MIBR even go for this?
Nah, that's the we're not losing this round lockdown. Absolutely no chance. That'll bring the save in for MIBR, and it's not even saving the op.
No one else did anything that round. It was all Kesnet.
Okay, Wingman planted the spike, first of all. Melzer threw up his wall.
Boo.
Nope. Couldn't have gotten that jump peek without the wall. So that's a big E-press. Very skillful ability.
He right-clicks. Meanwhile, Kesnet killed everyone on the side.
Kesnet did a little bit more. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Couldn't do it without the team.
But now he's picking up the up. He's saving that over, wanting to attack up on the Reyna. It's a bit, wait.
Hello?
They planted so far back site, like their plant was all the way back there, so it killed him. The default plant spot doesn't kill you there, but unaware. Oh,
he was falling? There's no
Stop
shot.
it, stop it, stop it, nah. Nah.
Same guy who just died in the spike.
The duality of man.
True. The Jungian duality. All right, 6-4 here. Crew, that's a great round to recover, but still money left for MIBR.
Fast once again towards this A space, but an early harbor wall to try and slow things down. MIBR aren't really playing behind it, but usually they have been. Usually that wall has always had Artisan playing right behind it. And at the same time, if you check out B main, there is a walk-up. So again, MIBR are testing, pushing on these extremities and boxing Crew into space. Crew have not been doing much in the way of lurking, in the way of, turning away and rotating into another site. They've just been full committing 5 players into sites over and over, and it's been working.
Nice shot there by Melzer. That's a flank cut off from this round. That means no dash to get back into sight. It's going to be tough now, especially considering Kesnet is fighting. He's ulted. He's going to want more in this round. The man will tuck for the moment. The next wave coming in with Klaus on the swing. Kesnet for a second. Can't trade out that Reyna. Puts JZZ in a nigh unwinnable position. Dart to work with. The time ticking. Noise made on the drop. First shot is found, but he's down to 7 HP, and you don't win that. Swing it into Kesnet.
So, like, I'm all for the Reyna hate. I'm pro Reyna hate, personally.
Okay. But can you give me the code for Crew?
No, but like actually, no, what I'm saying is like the way they're playing with it, like taking those super forward lines is exactly what you need to be able to do, right? When you're swinging on that aggressive line for the second and third time into a round, Jet only gets to do that once with the dash. You have to pre-prime it, so you have a very limited window in which you can actually do that. Kesnet is just full fight all the time, and MIBR have not been, I think, strong enough in their pre-retake protocols to be able to deal with that effectively.
It's interesting to watch the difference from this map versus the Kesnet we see on something like Ascent, where he's lurking pretty much every round. Here we see a lot more rounds where they're just going for these straight-up A hits, and he's just a legit entry duelist player.
And it seems to be working really well. There's overloading these sites, but again, not when MIBR play these off angles. They found another winning combination on this A site and have another huge numbers advantage.
Big ult online for this retake. The Reckoning, the Hunter's Fury. MIBR will just play to Flood here. Crew need to try and squeak out an advantage from this one.
Spike planted. Placing alarm bot.
Weird alarm bot, spotting out that wide swing on Raptors, and they're getting active.
But that ult, perfectly timed. These players now have to dance in place. Melzer, he's got no shot at that one. Shy alone, stunned on the site. The next wave coming. It's over. MIBR, for what was a pretty dominant game to start for Crew, pull us to a 5-7 half.
All things considered, I think MIBR made the right adjustments. They couldn't, turn it into a round win every single time. But the way they adjusted playing over on that A side seemed to go very well for them. Instead of just all-inning so much utility commitment into the start of rounds, playing a quieter setup, playing those off angles worked very, very nicely for them.
Lovely stuff. We get to see it one more time here. Yeah, those off angles just everything for MIBR. These guys can shoot when they get those chances. And that really makes things winnable for MIBR in the second half. But before we get into that, let's hear from Klaus and get his take on moving to the IGL role.
Hubieron dos razones, creo que porque Melzer no podía estar como IGLeando bien y performeando bien al mismo tiempo en stage, como que le costaba a él personalmente, y yo por otro lado estaba muy cómodo, o sea, como que por parte tenía muchas ideas, muchas cosas para darle al equipo, y que en mi posición como no IGL no podía darlo, y ahora como que estoy de vuelta en IGL siento que nada, le doy esa como versatilidad al equipo, le doy más ideas, le doy más estructura, le doy más cosas claras que hacer y nada, como que hay más propuesta mía, más voz y siento que le encaja perfecto al equipo.
You have to remember as well, this isn't a new thing for Klaus. He was IGL for this team back when Crew was making waves in 2021, 2022 early then as well, when they were the best team in LATAM, going to every international event, going on a run to what, top 4 at Champs 2021? He's been a leader at the top level before, and I imagine just getting reacquainted to that role, pretty comfortable for the guy.
For sure. Getting the team the first win last week, trying to run that into a second one here with a solid first half on Icebox, that's for sure. I just think a lot of the ways Crew have incorporated the hyper-unique playstyle of Kesnet so much into their mid-rounding has been very effective to see.
And it's funny too, because Klaus and Kesnet, they've been together since that beginning as well, right?
It makes sense.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. You still see an Ascent game where Kesnet's playing Jet and lurking. So 2-3 years ago, he's still doing it now.
You know what?
And it still works.
It still works. That's the crazy thing. The most unique player in Americas. I like it. No one else plays a duelist like it. But don't do it at home, folks.
Yeah, don't learn from
If you
Kesnet.
walk Reyna and you start lurking, I'm gonna be mad.
Someone from Wisconsin. Hi.
Don't be afraid. All right, we're getting into the second half here. Good look at our employee of the month and his teddy bear. For the real action, it kicks off.
Kesnet's employee of the month. He has been for the last like 3 years.
You just go to the Crew campus and it's just tons of blacks. I love it.
Little fight into mid to start, but MIBR gonna set their sights towards Zach.
So different, right? I think there was one round all last half where anything was done in mid, and it was just like a Jet updraft with knives, and then gave up completely. Already Crew changing things just a little bit. Playing pretty soft towards this A side. It's just shy for now with that forward alarm bot. Gets broken, and here comes the exec.
This Harbor comp is excellent at execs, but where it can fall apart is these flood retakes. Flash through the smoke. Artisan caught out in the open and missing his shots. What's happening there? A Crew's just dismantled them. One man left, FRZ, and he'll eventually find a connection faster. They're onto his former teammate.
Take a breath. There's a lot of time, but the spike is on site. FRZ wants to wait long enough that there's a threat that he could walk into mid. Now, unfortunately for him, a Killjoy turret would have seen that, but Shy just pulled it back, as a matter of fact.
It's a possibility of a timing now.
FRZ has to be perfect, though. With this HP, you have to land 2 headshots.
There's no real way for him to get down without making noise. Drop is heard. Crew knows where he's coming from.
Whew.
Shy. High-low with Melzer. And it's clean. Flood retake wins the round for Crew.
MIBR are gonna have to be prepared for that. Already going to the second round, talking about it, like, how do we deal with that? Who's breaking the leers coming through? Who's playing anti-flash? Etc., etc. And it's got to shift on a dime. Your comms have to be very, very good when you're looking for it.
The upside I see is that this is likely the comp they're scrimming against the most. The KO Gecko stuff is taking over on Icebox. More and more teams are implementing this comp every week. Not the Reyna version, but it has the same idea as, say, the more normal one that a team like Genji or Sen is running.
That it does. And maybe are looking for a bit of a spread right now. They're hoping to find maybe a pick in B main, A main, up mid. Fortunately, they lose that opener, so not given too much of an opportunity here. But I actually really like this, especially on a round 2 after you lose pistol. I am a big fan. Instead of just like grouping and trying to get a spike plant down, I love pressuring mid and finding out what is the Killjoy setup. What's the sort of hold look like, and that can set you up.
Expedition.
It's a recon, you know, it's a scouting mission. And the whole idea there is you try and figure out how do I lurk into mid in future rounds.
That's a Vandal more.
One enemy remaining.
The round shouldn't get any more weird than that. He has basically 1 HP. The spike he has to cross back through window, and Melzer's reflanking. All should be well and good. And it is.
And it is. There we go.
Vandal picked back up. And Crew converted pretty clean.
But now, hey, MIBR have learned some things, right? You've got, okay, there's a Killjoy turret in Kitchen. There was actually a player playing on top of it that last round as well. Are they putting the alarm bot down inside of our Viper Orb in mid? Could that be an opportunity? Is the walk up towards A through mid? Maybe a little bit weak for a late wrap, something like that. So those little ideas that you start, piecing together the more rounds you play, especially early in the half. And all that information is what helps in IGL. Ready. Sort of call those bigger moves.
This is where we start to get the unique parts of this Gecko Reyna comp. You have two different agents who can combo with your Gecko for flashes. That's what they could set up here in B main. Instead, just a contact play forward. Kesnet very deep on this line. Molly fading, swing. He was not ready. Artazine wins it, but the trade is there. Can the players get out? Do they even need to? Fights being won, but JCC catches Klaus on the escape.
This round is a mess right now. You've got a player over in A. You've got one holding here from top site. It's a 2-on-2. Basically on A, and especially without this spike getting planted, MIBR have to stall out time. They must buy time for this lurk to come in and bite them in the back.
They're going back into the lurk. Heat is gonna pick up a gun. And he's wrapping all the way around them. There's no shot.
I mean, now they're not even waiting for the lurk. They're just gonna keep going. They're gonna go back into A. They've got this player hiding out in spawn. That should be an easy kill for FRZ.
Suddenly it's just an A hit.
And Heat is so confused. He's like, I went all the way. They must think that like those players walked up under mid, because there's no other way they could have gotten out, right? Except for the
there's a fight here in spawn. FRZ, he's looking the wrong way. The lurker falls. Massive for Shy. Now suddenly this KO is reflanking again, making noise so to regroup in mid.
Yeah, Mazine fully aware that those players are going to be coming back in through spawn. Double mollies on Mazine, a shock dart on JZZ, as well as a dart. A lot of good post-plant util.
But a knife for Heat. He misses it. That's not going to help him in this endeavor. Time ticking. One flash, one molly. Tap on the spike. Shy going to be the man up for the fight.
First molly out.
Misses JZZ. He wins the fight as well, and now only Heat left in this one. Dart in front of him, tags him out in the open. Both players just biding their time as the shock darts rain in, and Heat didn't have a shot at that one. Weird round.
A ridiculous, ridiculous round. I mean, literally, the reason why that player in spawn, it was FRZ, right? It was looking the wrong way. I think just anticipated those players to be rotating through mid. It had taken so long, surely you think they've come under two, but they hadn't.
But the beauty of that little FPX buy on round two is that Crew not only had basically full rifles for their bonus, they now have full rifles again here into round 16.
MIBR looking to play up into mid here. We'll see how quickly they want to go. If they want to just leave an insert, or Artazine really wants to take a fight. It's an updraft Jash, top tube rather, just breaking that early Killjoy turret, and that puts so much pressure down, because now all of a sudden a player could be walking out there. You could walk under tube. One player can't hold mid, so three players come to re-clear it.
It's a well-timed re-clear. They're going to inspect over towards tube, try and replace an alarm bot, but I think just got insta-broken.
Yeah, it was. Mazine was on that line, destroys it. But Melzer finding a pick in B main changes this round big time. Way harder to pivot back into that B site. MIBR are gonna have to go A.
Look at the call though. Crew's ready for this one. 3 players stacked up on A, and Heat has got a nasty off angle.
Those players started on B, went to re-clear mid after the early pressure, are now reading the A finish.
That's the beauty of this comp. It's so proactive, constantly rotating, constantly having more util online to re-clear space.
Such a different look. MIBR just played a half where they just sat kind of still, waited for the fights to come to them. And when it worked, it worked. But Crew, do they trick themselves out of this round? You can see Kesnet was looking to rotate out.
They're
Maybe
biting
they've
on
heard
this
some
fake
sound.
a little bit. Kesnet's gone. Now these players spotted. Klaus has a good position though. How much can he get done from up top? Artisan is directly below him. He's hearing so much noise, and that's a lovely spray transfer onto 2. The third won't convert, but this flood retake is so fast. Kesnet for his kill. JZZ, halfway across the world.
Just simply forced to save.
10 seconds
Crew's
left.
movement that entire round was exactly what they needed to do. They responded so well to what MIBR were showing on the map. And I think once they got that kill in B main, it just simplified everything. They could go for that heavy stack into A. Even though they almost rotated out of that space, didn't matter. They still kept 2 players around, and that was more than enough to succeed.
Some big ults now starting to come online. They'll have the thrash here for Crew. This might just be a snowball.
Yeah, Melzer just playing off that one way. MIBR player just walked straight on into that, got shut down. MIBR not with a goodbye. JZZ almost the hero, but there are some options, right? You get a kill on JZZ, all of a sudden Hunter's Fury available in a post plant. They could get something done, but it's not going to happen towards B main. Again, this big opening, 3 players here. If the space isn't fought for, the other thing is too, they can just show utility and then rotate out of that space. MIBR aren't going to want to walk back into it.
Yeah, I think one interesting facet of this crew team's defensive rotates is how proactive you see Kesnit in all this. He's the guy who's being set up, rotating, moving around constantly. He talked in an interview with our colleague Dryad from the LATAM broadcast about this, saying that he actually adds a lot of ideas, kind of acts as a secondary caller on their defensive sides to set up rounds like this.
And I think it makes so much sense, both on the defense, where he's going to be the one taking a lot of those fights, also on the attack, a lot of the mid-round hinging off of his position. This round, though, hinging on Melzer, alone on the B site. He's not going to look to play this too aggressively, but Crew a couple of rounds in a row have gone for their one and dipped away, but
that's
swinging
a little
in.
Bold.
That's a little bit too much against a bad buy, giving a gun. And Artizine, how aggressive does he want to get?
Where'd that gun go? I think it fell off. Now Artizine doesn't have a weapon. It's an up for one. Man advantage maintained here, but no real guns being able to recover.
Hold your horses, though. Mazine all the way through A site. He is fast on that flank.
How fast is he, though? Because Crew is going quite swift on this one. Bit awkward in the kitchen. 1v1. He lost it. Another ridiculous lurk gone wrong. Ult committed here to try and buy time on the plants as Crew fights all the way deep into main. RGL is down. FRZ is the second layer of this reflank, and he's taken care of as well. Stunning stuff from Crew. How did they win that round?
I'm just going to say gun diff. I think MIBR just really overcooked it on those flanks. They're only playing with 3 players on site. Their late ARAP completely failed from Mazine. And then the spike's not planted for FRZ to go under 2.
Also just awareness diff. Every one of those players on a flank, Crew was ready. Crew was watching. Very thorough there.
I feel a little disappointed. We've seen a few times this game, last half as well, these B plants not supporting a late rewrap. And that's been a big miss. There's been a lot of attacking rounds lost just because the plant position does not support the macro decisions that those players are deciding to go for. And it's really baked some of these rounds away.
And those are the things that seem really simple when you're watching it. But it can be kind of difficult to think of. But when you're a well-drilled team, right? Generally, you're going to be calling that. You're going to be proactive about your teammates. I feel like that's kind of almost a symptom of the pressure getting them to a little bit, letting those important things slip through the cracks.
Yeah, especially when you got that opening pick on the Viper that swings top side. You should be able to get a more open plant, you would think. But they go for the safe plant. It's an eco. Let's make sure we can get it down. That's a reasonable decision, but
you even see then the way they're fighting forward. When we're watching Crew go for these proactive late fights, it's Kesnit with 2 players behind him, with Initiator and Utility invested. We're just not really seeing MIBR trading in the same way when they're taking those risks, when they're going for those plays.
And MIBR are going to come in after the timeout, and I think, again, they're looking to challenge into mid. I think that's a good read. Mid has been a little bit weaker in the start of rounds. Crew are looking to re-clear that space. Artizine, the last time we saw him go for this, it was a quick updraft dash getting on top of 2. Very different Killjoy setup this time around. The deep, loud-esque turret placed all the way back in kitchen.
This is the make or break from MIBR. Money on an edge, big ults online. They're punishing the forward fight here.
It's an A split. 2 players working into Pal while they get that first kill, but Melzer's ready for it.
He wins another?
The mid push completely fails.
Spike down.
Crew just dominate MIBR as they separate.
That's just a gun diff. That's just the man wins every fight. He's stuck in an ult. He's sidestepping back and forth. He still wins. Out of Kesnit's book, that's a lurking jet. Can't do that against Crew. They wrote that book.
The lurks have been such a failure this game for MIBR. Crew have been ready for them every single time.
Clean. Okay. Clean start from JZZ. Down to a 1v3.
He's got to go through the jungle gym to get the spike back, though.
I have the spike.
And there's some insurance here. Crash if they need it in the late round. Good util for Crew. He's just making too much noise. Map point Crew.
Match point.
Reminder, this is the first match here in stage 1 that MIBR are playing. We're not playing in the first week of 11 teams. We have to have a team sit out. but not the hottest debut here up against Crew on Icebox. To be fair, it is Crew's map pick, but they have been completely reading every move MIBR have made.
One of the interesting things to me about this game thus far is just the kills for Crew. Normally you watch this team, Kessin has like double the next best guy on the team.
Yeah.
Maybe Heat's up there too. Like they're a team built around their stars. But in this match, I really feel like we've seen the supportive cast step up. The trades onto Kessin have been excellent. The way they're scaling together, every member of this team is getting involved.
It's a 12-6 game that Crew are dominating, and yet it's a game where Kesnet, if you look at first kills, first deaths, 4 first kills to 6 first deaths. He's not having an outstanding performance when it comes to finding those openers. And I think that is what every Crew fan wants to see. Not the poor Kesnet numbers, but they want to see a well-balanced Crew, right?
Sure.
Or the rest of the team is stepping up behind him. And like you're pointing out, I think that is exactly what we're seeing so far this game.
For a lot of this team's life, it has been the epitome of no help. And when you see a game that it's a lot more even, it is great to see. Heat especially, I feel like, has been a great addition to this squad in that regard. The firepower on that guy. I mean, the growth we've seen from him, from kind of leaving ways with MIBR amid some kind of internal struggles with the team, maybe some arguments about the identity of the squad, to now changing over to Crew, being a supportive player, and still putting up numbers. There's some growth there.
You know winning this series is going to feel good.
Get out of my way.
MIBR, everything riding on this round now. Knives popped, scuffed by with 3 Guardians. Again, though, it is just Melzer playing over towards the B site. Right now, Heat is heating up. Why did I say that?
Don't.
I didn't even mean to. I just autopiloted. He's over on the B site.
Cool. Fast flying for Crew, though. 3 players have an option to go through, but instead just leave 1 in spawn. The 2 others will group back towards mid.
Oh no. The harbor wall giving a pocket for these players to hide inside of. Artisan goes up and down and gets the first kill. Look at him go, but not enough knives to finish the job. MIBR find themselves up 4-2 numbers in the post.
Kesnet has ult popped. This is the moment for a Kesnet round. 2v4 on the retake. Kesnet already opening onto the first kill, and that spam damn near kills RGL. Klaus will finish the job. Now a Killjoy ult committed. FRT on the swing. It's a 1v1. Can Kesnet close the game? Absolutely! An incredible performance from the Reyna. 13-6. Crew take map 1.
That's a finish right there. Oh yeah. MIBR getting super active, but Kesnet just cannot be stopped there. A demon in the late rounds.
You just can't count the guy out.
MIBR are gonna have to go back and lick their wounds after that one. Pretty devastating first map to lose, but we go over to their choice of Sunset as the next option.
And they've got to be feeling good. From losing 10 games in the regular season last year, every single one, to now coming in here, winning their debut, and following up with a dominant map 1. It really feels like it's finally clicking for Crew.
Yep, Crew are in it. Getting so active in the post plants. MIBR made it challenging, especially in that second half. The second part of the first half. Oh my god, that round is still giving me chills. When he shoots the guy out of the sky. Artisan was falling off yellow, he gets an easy headshot, then a spam kill with an operator, ridiculous.
MIBR not out of it yet. Map number 2 coming up. Stick around.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Ooh, yes, problem. You need Verizon. Trade in that old thing and get a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies.
A preposterous amount of panos!
That means panoramic.
And as many portraits of me as your heart desires.
How about none?
None, yeah, none feels right.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro on us. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.